Yeah, it just one of those things we talked about last week a little bit too. I felt like we need to make some improvements on third downs on both offense and defense, and we didn't do that again. And that's frustrating. There's a lot of good in it. I mean, the effort was there. It's just guys. It's the execution we got to continue to work on and focus on a couple things. Like I mentioned, the third downs are huge for us right now. I think we were 3 of 13 on offense on third downs. I think they were 9 of 19, and those are big deals. Especially on the defensive side of things. I feel like not getting off the field. I think we played 3 of our last 4 series. I think they had 15, 12, and 11 plays, and you get tired doing that, and we got good depth. We rotate guys, but at the end of the day, that weighs on you. So, it was unfortunate. There's things we did well, and the thing about it right now, we're getting everybody's best game, and that's the way it should be. And nobody feels sorry for the Rams right now. I can tell you that. So, including us, we need to shake out of it and start playing better football. So, I'm hoping we do that. But give Kingsville credit. I think that they did a great job, and they caused some of the problems that we had. But we got to limit our mental mistakes and clean up some things like I mentioned on third down, and hopefully we can get that turned around.
After this past week, do you think that this situation requires a full reset in practice, or do you think there are just a few minor things to tweak?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that we need to do some things differently and kind of focus more so on some of those topics, right? Like the third downs, do some more third down periods, both offensively and defensively and with each other, good on good and that kind of thing too. But, we've won a lot of football games, practicing the way we feel like we think it gives us best chance to win. And sure, you're always looking for things to tweak on that to get to get back on track. But for a full reset, I'm not hitting that button yet. We're 4-2. On that part of it. If we were 2-4, maybe you look at some hit that panic button a little bit more than you are. I don't want to do that because I think that brings on. I live in the realistic part of things, and I tell our guys the truths of how the season is. Don't hit the panic button, but understand the urgency of what needs to happen. To win the games you're supposed to win, and to have opportunities to go play on and do different things, you got to win. And we're not doing that. So understanding the reality of the situation you put yourself in, but also not hitting the panic button and thinking you got to redo everything because it's proven we can win here and do things. So I'm hoping our guys will respond with how we approach practice and continue to get better.
And going forward, do you plan to use a 2-quarterback system with Fuller and Smith, or are you planning to give one of them predominant amount of snaps in each game?
That's a tough question because the quarterback position is different than any other position in football, and quite frankly, any other position in sports. It really is. It's one guy playing, and you rotate O-linemen, you rotate receivers, you rotate running backs, you rotate everybody on defense. Quarterbacks, most of the time, you don't do that. And I think that both of our guys that are playing with the 1 and 2 right now have done really good things for us. And obviously, Braden coming off of an injury has. Not played up to where he's been playing, but at the same time hasn't played bad. It's different. It's different. A lot of things that he did before in his game, was running around and doing different things. And if he's not comfortable with that yet, we don't know. We'll have to keep on working with him. But I think Caden's done a good job of allowing us to be able to use him in different capacities. So I would anticipate both those guys getting opportunities and moving forward to it. But to make, again, like a whole, hey, half and half, I don't think that's the case either. I think you just find what's hot and you go with it. And, we've won a lot of football games with Braden at quarterback, and he does a lot of really good things to put us in situations to win, whether that's making checks, getting people lined up, and doing those types of things. So, he brings a lot to the table with his experience that Caden doesn't have, but Caden brings a lot to the table as well with what he can do. He's a very explosive football player. I said it before, he's probably one of the best athletes on our football team, if not the best. So, just continue to work them both and see what practice looks like, and come up with a game plan to see how we can utilize them both in their strengths.
Coach, what is the guys' attitude in the locker room right now? I know it's not easy. sticking with it after you go on a bit of a losing streak? And I know the season's nowhere near over, but how do they view it?
That's a good question. I think they view it as we got to go out and win. I mean, they understand that opportunity that to do what we expect to do in Angelo State, and I think they have a good attitude with it. I don't know that we got over that loss last week as fast as we should have. I think and that's on me. That's making sure that I understand that, what the mindset of our guys are. I mean, our guys were ready to play Saturday. It wasn't that. It was just a matter of going out and executing at the highest level, and we didn't do it, and they did. And again, I mentioned it. We're getting really good games. I mean, and that's the Lone Star Conference, and you look at the, top to bottom to it. These teams can go out and beat people, and if you don't play your best in our conference, you can get embarrassed, and week in, week out. So you got to go out and do that. And I just felt like our guys had the right attitude going in, their mindset going in. I just don't know, the focus. We got to continue to get better on in practice with the execution of things, and focus on a couple things that we can do individually different to help the team too. And I think that's something that all of them are kind of taking to heart right now.
Well, it doesn't get any easier this weekend, as you're going to get Midwestern State's best shot as well.
Yeah.
It's a homecoming week. I don't think that's going to be as big a distraction as it would, like at different levels of football. But what's the message this week? How are things going to change?
Yeah, it's going 1-0. We got to go 1-0 this week and get better, and practice and stay focused and locked in. And I think as a coaching staff, we need to do a good job too of keeping them focused on that, not focusing on the negative. But again, we live in truths, right? And reality is, we're 0-2 the last 2 weeks, and Midwestern State's 2-0 the last 2 weeks. So, we've got to go out and execute at a high level. They're playing, improving as the season goes along. They started off slow on that part, but they've won 2 straight, and they're playing better football than they've been playing all year. And we're probably not playing as good a football right now as we were at the beginning of the year. So we got to find out what that is, and the message is going to be go out and do what you got to do to win a football game, this week. And whether that's what you watch in film, how you take care of your bodies, how you practice, all those types of things, the weight room, just going out and attacking everything that you need to do to win a football game. So that message won't change in that. But yeah, there's definitely some urgency to get back on the winning side of things and keep their minds right.
Coach, walk me through something I've noticed. What's been your bread and butter during your time here at ASU? Success in the running game and the success of stopping the running game.
Yeah.
Just neither of them were able to shine. Like, neither were able to do what you wanted to against Kingsville.
Yeah.
And even offensively, the running game the last 2 weeks, not able to run the ball with as much efficiency as I'm sure you would like to.
Yeah.
What do you think that really boils down to? You think it boils down to just them making the plays and we are? Is that boil down to game planning, play calling?
Yeah, I think that on defense, our defense this year or this week, the run game surprised us in that part, but I didn't think they would be capable of doing that out of 10 personnel and be able to do that, and they did. Then again, that's credit to them. We didn't play the way we were supposed to play up front, quite frankly, on a lot of different things, and we missed some tackles and did stuff. For our run game, I think we had 118 rushing this week. A lot of it was scrambles at the end with quarterback running around a little bit, but what they do on defense, you're not going to run the football. I mean, if you go look in the national stats, and that they're in the top 10 in the country against the run every year, or every year they are, and in the past they usually are not as high because teams have to throw it. When you have 9 guys in the tackle box and you got 7 to block them, that's not good math to run the football a ton. So that part of it, teams are going to dictate what you do on stuff, but that's why we hang our hat at Angelo State on offense to be able to do both. And yeah, I want to run the ball as much as we possibly can, but I'm also going to be realistic about it and when we can do it, when we can't do it. So it's going to come down to game plans and what we see. And again, to me, stats are for losers on that part of it. I'm not worried about how many yards we run, pass for, how many yards we give up or don't. I'm worried about the final score at the end of the game. And I can sit and pad stats all I want and put them on a recruiting brochure and send it out and tell everybody how great we are on things, but you got to look at the the schedule, and see what the wins and losses are. You'll win 12 games or 11 games in the regular season and you're last in the country against the run. Great. I'll take the 11-0 on that part of it. So it just comes down to our guys, us being able to do both, run and pass, and do what we have to do to win football games. And that's what we're not doing right now. And to me, it's not the running and the passing. It's more of just execution of what we're calling.
And then touching on more about with Midwestern State, you mentioned they're 2 in our last couple of games. What are you seeing on film? What are some of the things you're looking out for, and what we can expect from the matchup more in home?
They've gotten better. I think they rotate a lot of guys out of it. I think they have 3 guys that wear number 10 at some point playing quarterback. They're 3 different people, so we'll have to figure out which number 10's in the game with it. But same with their receiver. They got a really good receiver, and they got several of them. But the Green kid is a really good football player. I think he's leading in top 10 in the conference in receptions. I think top 5. But he also wears a couple different numbers, so I'm trying to figure all that figured out right now. But they just keep getting better and better and improving out of it, and they got really good special teams. They have a punt returner that's returned 2 kicks for touchdowns. The Kingsville game won that game for them, so that was the final score of that game was the touchdown on a punt return. So they just gotten better and better, and it's. I love the matchup still. We get to go out and play again, and we need to get back on the field. I said that last week. We need to get back on the field, and it didn't work out the way we wanted it to. But homecoming part of it, it's great. I love to see people when they come back and see a bunch of the former Rams, and hopefully that motivates our guys to play well in front of the guys that have kind of built the foundation over the years with Angelo State football.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.